Hello Internet, and welcome to yet another video in my tutorial for Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. In this episode we will be talking about the resources that are available to you as the player, which are valuable, which are not, and where to get your questions answered. Just to say things up front, the two best options available to you are the Dev Discord and the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Cataclysm. We will talk about them both in detail in this video, as well as talking about the other major options that are available to you. Now, as I've said before, Cataclysm is a pretty complicated game, and even when you know what you're doing, sometimes you just need to be able to look something up. So first, let's talk about the wiki. Now, for most games, you would go to a wiki to get your answers. Well, unfortunately for Cataclysm, the wiki is extremely outdated. Now, there are some pages that have been updated sporadically over time, but overall, you want to avoid this place. There's no real way to know whether or not something is outdated. You just have to try them out or ask someone else anyway. And because of this, we get a lot of people who come into the Discord and are confused because they read something on the wiki and it doesn't match up to the game. In general, don't trust the wiki. Your best bet in reality are video tutorials like these or my other Let's Play tutorial series, or by talking to other players in a community. Now, since I mentioned Discord and we're talking about community, let's talk about the more social side of getting answers. First, we have a forum for the game, which will be linked in the description down below. The forum is a fine place to go for answers or conversation about the game, but it is a forum, which means that you will have slow responses to anything that you post. Plenty of the developers are on the forum, however, so you have a pretty good chance of getting accurate information. Now, we also have two Discords. First, there's a Discord that is put together by the development team. I believe it's run by Korg, one of the core dev members. Pretty sure is the owner of that server. Now, this Discord is mostly dev focused, but there are a couple of channels that are more social in their discussions about the game, and they do have a player help channel as well. This is a really great place to get answers for your question. Usually there's plenty of people around, including multiple dev members and contributors, people who've contributed to the game, so you will probably get your answer pretty quickly. This is the number one place that I go when I have a question about the game that I can't answer myself. Now, the dev server is focused on development. This means that it's not really a place for just general socialization. So don't come in talking about your day, don't come in posting memes or anything like that. It's just going to lead to some friction between you and the moderators. I know a lot of people have issue with this. I personally don't have a problem with it. If you're there to talk about the game, you will have no problems at all. Now, there is a second Discord. We consider this the fan Discord. The owner of this server is one of the maintainers for the Aftershock mod, which is very popular in the Cataclysm community, and they're also a moderator in the official Discord. Now, this server has some more social channels and is generally less populated, so questions about the game might take a little bit longer to get answered, but there are plenty of smart folks there who enjoy the game, so feel free to ask any questions you have. And then finally, on the social side, there is a subreddit. Now, I don't use Reddit personally. Most of the time when I go to a game subreddit, it's a lot of toxicity and just general unpleasantness that I don't want to deal with. I can't speak to the Cataclysm Discord specifically because, again, I don't really use Reddit. Now, from what I have seen, it seems like there's a fair bit of people there who are toxic, and most of the time, whenever I hear something about the Reddit, it's because someone is being very, very negative. Now, I'm sure that there are good people there, but everything I see seems to be really unpleasant and just not really where I want to be. It exists, though, if you're a Reddit user, so go nuts. Alright, so that is the social side of things. Let's talk more about the informative side where you can find answers for yourself. You'll have two major tools in your toolbox. There's an item browser and there's something called Hitchhiker's Guide to the Cataclysm. Both of them serve similar purposes, and I will link to both of them in the description down below. Now, the item browser is older and the HHG is very new. I personally recommend using the latter. I'll link to both, but I recommend that you just use Hitchhiker's Guide, especially if you're on experimental. Now, there's a lot of functionality built into this website, and it draws information directly from the game, so it should always be accurate on the most recent experimental version. I'm not going to go over everything that you can do in this website because there is quite a lot you can do, but the gist of it is that it lets you browse basically anything in the game. So let's say, for instance, you're playing the game and you realize that you need a tool that has the hammering 2 quality. Well, we would go to HHG and click the qualities link on the main page. We would find hammering in the list, and then that would show us a list of all items in the game that have that quality. And in fact, it will list them in order based on what level of hammering quality they have. So we scroll down a bit and we see that there is a makeshift hammer that will suit our purposes, and we think, oh, okay, let's craft that. So now I can click the makeshift hammer and it opens information for that item. And if we scroll down, we can see the crafting recipe for that item, where to find this recipe, the skill requirement, all the materials that go into it, etc., etc. So this is just one instance of value that you can find in the website, and it's something you can refer to as you need to. In general, finding this information in the game can be a little bit tricky or time consuming, and we have this website that lays everything out nice, neat, and orderly. Even as an experienced player, I will use this website pretty frequently when I need to find recipes or information on a specific item or on a monster. Alright, and then the only other resource I can think of at the moment are the actual game files. Now, the majority of Cataclysm exists in something called JSON or JSON, depending on who you ask. This isn't a coding language, it uses plain language and is pretty readable even for someone who doesn't know what they're looking at. So you can, if you're really pressed, look for something in the game files. Now, even though JSON is pretty readable for beginners, I really don't recommend this if you're a new player. It can be kind of nightmarish to find something specific if you don't know exactly where to look or what to look for. And since the Hitchhiker's Guide that we just talked about pulls information directly from the game, you're probably better off looking there instead of diving into the files yourself. Still though, there will always be information that you can only find if you look on your own, so it's there and available if you really want to try this. And I think that's it really. Don't ever be afraid to reach out and ask questions about the game. My tutorial series should hopefully cover most of the things that you'll want to know, but it will never be perfect. You can join the community. You should join the community. Ask questions, talk to other players, talk to people. It'll make the game that much more enjoyable. And if you're really struggling, these people can give you pointers and tips and help you out. If you're having fun playing the game and you feel like you understand what's going on, you're going to have a better time and you're probably going to come back more in the future. Anyway, I think that's it. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this helped. Smash that like button on your way out and I'll be back with more tutorials soon.